Hi, Naomi here, and welcome to part 7, yes, part 7 of BAMP 2018. Now, I'll just quickly go through with you what we need today. So, you will need, of course, your base page. You will need a piece of the cardstock that you're building your pages with. You will need 2 sheets of 12 by 12 paper. Now, you may recall in an earlier video that I made a boo-boo and I cut when I should have scored, so I'm actually a page short because this was a pack of 12 sheets of cardstock. I'd used one piece on a different project which left me with 11, and I messed one up, so I will be using a piece of clay just to show you how to do the cuts. But when I show you the finished piece, I'm actually going to use the bits I cut off and cut wrong last time, if that makes sense. Okay, so you've got your basic page, you've got a piece of cardstock you're building your pages with, 2 pieces of 12 by 12 DST, and when we did our last page, you should have had a piece of cardstock. Remember that bit? Should have had a piece of cardstock left over. You will need that for this page, and you will need all of your offcuts that you've been saving or should have been saving as we've been going through. If you haven't, don't worry, you can use your lighter coloured plain card, just cut to the sizes that I put on the screen. Okay, right, that's all of the materials. This is what you'll need tools wise. You need something to cut and score with. I can do both on here, so whatever tools you use to cut and score. You will need your adhesive of choice. You need to have some wet glue for this one because we are going to be making a pocket. So if you're working with tape, that's fine, keep using the tape, but have some wet glue to hand, okay? So you'll need wet glue. I always have 2 in case I can't get one going. You'll need your bone folder, and you really will need this today because we're doing a lot of cut work. You'll need post-it notes and a pencil. Okay, so let's get started. Just clear the table. We'll start with your basic page. Don't know what I've done with my camera today. Let's tilt that down a bit. I'm confusing myself. Okay, you need your basic page and we're going to score. So open it up. This is your binding strip. You're going to turn it over, or you could do it this way, it doesn't really matter. Just do it this way. Binding strip, we're going to score this bit at 2 inches. Okay, so we're scoring at 2 inches. Like that. And we're going to put that to one side for now. Now you'll need your cardstock that you're using to make your pages. And you'll need your post-it notes and your pencil. So the first thing we're going to do, sorry about the glare, is we're going to cut a piece that is 7 inches by 5 inches. So you've got your page landscape like we usually do. So you're going to cut a strip off that's 5 inches wide. Cutting at 5 inches. We're going to turn that round and cut that down to 7 inches. So you've got a piece that's 7 by 5, and we're going to score at 4.5. Okay, so we're going to score 4.5. And we're going to label this one folded mat. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this piece. And this piece measures 6.5 by 4.5. So you want your cardstock this way up. So this is the shorter side, this is the longer side. Make sure I'm put it out a bit. Okay, so this is your shorter side, this is your longer side, and we're going to cut that. We're going to confuse myself. Turn it this way and cut to 4.5. And then we're going to go this way for 6.5. Okay, so you're 4.5 this way, 6.5 this way, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to score at 3 3/4. Okay, so 4.5 that way, 6.5 that way, and we've scored at 3 3/4. We're going to label this one front flap. We've still got another cut to do. So you've got this piece, and we're going to cut it down to 6.5. I apologise if my ends are looking a little bit ragged, but I have had this for a few months now and I have been using it heavily every day, and I need to order another blade, so apologies. Okay, the next thing we are going to do, to put it that way up, we're going to cut diagonally that way. Okay, just cutting diagonally that way. And then you can use either your trimmer or a pair of scissors and knife to that corner. Okay, this one we're going to label triangle pocket. Okay, remember the piece that we cut from the previous page? We're going to cut this down to 5.5 by 4.5. So next, grab your sheet of DST. We will not be doing the usual base page DST, so please don't rush ahead. Okay, we won't be sticking things down in the order that we do either, which is why I said let's get all the cutting out of the way. We'll label everything up and then I'll show you the correct order to assemble everything. So I'm going to cut this to 5 inches. And then in half to 6 inches. And we want to label both of those base page because they will go on the base page. We are going to cut a piece along here that is 6.5 inches. So you put it in long ways. 6.5 inches, Okay, so we've now got this so that it's 6.5 that way, going along that side, but this is too wide for what we want to do. So you're going to cut this down to 6, okay? So if you check, you're 6.5 this way, you're going to rotate, and we're going to cut down to 6 inches. And then we're going to rotate again, and we're going to cut this in half so that you've got 2 pieces that measure 3.25 by 6 inches. As usual, you'll have the cut sheet in the group, the Stampin Stashers Group on Facebook, which is also where you'll find your bonus video and any extras that I have for you. Okay, so you've got those 2 pieces, and we're going to label those front flap. Take your second sheet of DSP and we're going to cut a strip 4.5 inches wide. And then we're going to cut 2 pieces at 4 inches, so 1 piece at 4 and another piece at 4 and we're going to label both of those folded mat. You should still have a piece left over that's 4.5 wide, so just double checking I've got it the right way up. I'm going to cut a piece now that is 2.5 inches. Okay, so your 2.5 inch piece. And this is going to be the bit that goes on here, so we need to cut a triangle. We're nearly done, don't worry. Okay, so our next cut line will be at 4 inches. Okay, so 4 inches, and I want to cut 2 pieces that are 5 inches wide. So first piece, and again at 5 inches, and we're going to label these black mat. Just have a little quick tidy up, and we'll do a little bit of the assembly work. There is still some cutting to go, but we'll come to that a bit later. Okay, right, so you've got your basic page, your base page I should say. Take one of your base page pieces and we're going to glue that down in here. Now remember we scored here, we're going to fold that. I've got mine turned this way because I'm left-handed. And turn whichever way is more comfortable for you. Get that nice and crisp. And what you need to do is, in your offcuts, find a piece of cardstock that's at least 2 inches wide. Or it doesn't have to be 2 inches, it just needs to be wide enough that when you fold your pocket over, there's a bit showing. Okay, and we're going to cut that down to 6 inches. And that piece is going to sit there just like that, so that when we create our pocket, underneath the pocket has been decorated. Now we've done this type of pocket before. We're going to go along this edge and along this edge only. Okay, so just going that edge and that edge, fold over, and then you've got a pocket there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is take the other 6-inch piece you've got, see, 16th inch, and we're going to cut this down to 1.5. And that will go here. So this is how the inside of your base page now looks. And if I show you, you've got your pocket here, but that's not what's going in there. Okay. Now have a look through your scraps, see if you've got another piece. So here, now you need that to be at least 2.5 inches. So 2.5 inches is what we're after. Mine's just a touch wider, that I'm going to keep it as it is because it's such a small fraction, and I'm going to cut that down to 6 inches. This is, I mean, we've said this before in previous videos, keep hold of all of the bits you cut off because they can be used elsewhere on the album, and this page is a great example of how to use up all of the offcuts that you've created as you've gone through. Now I'm going to work on the back next. So you need your other piece that says base page. Squeeze up a bit. And you need your 2 bits that say triangle pocket. Okay, so we're going to take this piece, we're going to fold along the score lines, use a dull folder to get that nice and crisp. Folding along the other score line. Okay. And that's going to sit like that. So turn it over, make sure everything's tucked up nice and tight to the corner and glue in place. And then, as we always do, we're going to glue that to the back of your base page, remembering this is where your binding strip is. So this will need to sit closer to this side, like so. That's how your back page now looks. You've got your little corner pocket. Now for you, you'd need to stick this piece here. Okay, I will cut a piece of proper cardstock to go there. I just wanted to show you where that would go for now. In fact, what I'll do is I'll use a bit of low tack tape just to hold that in place so that you can see. But at the end of this video, I'll show you a picture with actual DSP on. And if, like me, you've messed up in any place on your album and you did run out of cardstock, don't forget you can use plain and decorate it yourself. So I'm just going to stick a little bit there, just to represent that piece of cardstock being in place. Right, the next thing we're going to do is the front flap. So you'll need your cardstock that you cut and labelled and your 2 pieces of DSP. And this is quite simple. You're just going to stick your DSP. So you've got your score line here. You're just going to stick your DSP to both sides of your front flap, like so. Okay, you take the basic page. Oops, we should probably do our score line first. And that's going to sit just in there, like so. So it's just going to butt up against that crease there. So to do that, what we're going to do is to the back, see how that folds down. This is where we're going to apply the glue, or your tape, depending on what you're using. making sure that it butts up to the crease on your binding strip and it lines up top and bottom with your page. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. So this is how your page looks so far. You've got a flap here and here, and this is actually a pocket, and on the back you've got a pocket here. Okay, what I've done is I've cut the DST from the sheet that I did wrong in the other video, and I've cut it. I've cut it to 4 by 4.5 to go on the folded mat, and they are going to go here. So you see we scored here. They're going to go front and back on the bigger piece. Okay, what I've done is I've taken a look through my scraps and I found a piece that was 2 inches wide. I say scraps, I mean the offcuts from what we've been doing so far. And I found a strip that was 2 inches wide. So I've cut a piece 4.5 inches and I'm doing the same on the back. And then we're going to fold along the crease, along that score line, and then just burnish with your bone folder so you've got a mat that looks like this. You could do this with plain cardstock, and this is going to go into your base page like this. So it sits in that pocket, it sits like that. So this is how your base page will now look, with a removable mat. So the last thing we're going to do is you need to put something in your pocket on the back. So just stick those 2 down. So what I'm going to do is cut for a second, cut some DST to the right size, and I'll be back with you. So we've now completed all 6 of the pages, and I will show you that last page. Please excuse the mess. Okay, so this is the first page that we did. It had the flap on the front, bit that opens up there, and the flap on the back. And the second page we did, this was the zigzag page. And I actually still need to make a photo mat to go into that pocket there. Okay, so that was the zigzag page. Then we did this one, and this is where we did the pocket. And the photo corners on the back. Then we did this one. So this one had the zigzag front. And that flap. And a page that opens up on the back. Then we did this one. This one opens out, so you've got the 2 flaps. You've got the little pocket here. You've got photo matting. And then on the back, we've got this one that opens out, little triangles. And then there's the one we've just created. So you've got the flaps there, another flap there, this photo mat that comes out. And then on the back you've got your corner and another double-sided mat. So that's all 6 of the pages done now. The next video is the last video in this series. I hope you've enjoyed it. The next one we're going to do the cover, and I'm hoping that you've been able to see the bonus video that I did where I discussed different materials you could use for the cover. Thank you again for joining me. I will see you on Thursday with the last video. Take care. Bye.